Hey there, it's Roslyn here and welcome back to my channel. This video is part of a hop using not two shabby shop products. Jamie has provided us with 2 stamps each of our choice from her exclusive line of stamps. The two I chose are the Happy Fall set and the Give Thanks set. I have pre-colored these images with my Copic markers, and if you'd like to see how I've colored them, I will link that video in the description box below. I went ahead and fussy cut out all of those beautiful images. So for today's card, we are focusing on scene building, and I'm going to show you how to build a scene using pattern paper on a slimline card design. So I've taken some pattern paper from my stash. These are all by Sunny Studio Stamps, and I've cut them down to about 4 inches wide. Next, I'm taking my scenic border dies from Trinity Stamps and aligning them on the top of each of these pattern papers. I was mindful to cut these pattern papers down in the direction of the pattern, so you don't want sideways pumpkins or sunflowers. And I've just gone ahead and marked these with my pencil so that I can save some of that pattern paper and get these glued down onto my background. As you can see, I've used a grass border die, a hillside die, and on the last one, on the pumpkins, I used the cloud die. And I'm just going to cut those down with my trimmer so that I can save some of that gorgeous paper. For my card today, it is a 3 3/4 by 8 3/4 card base. And I am going to line these up where they are going to show up on my card, trying to get them in the right order. And as you can see, it creates sort of a scene so that the grass is in the front and the clouds are in the back. I'm going to use some really low tack washi tape here. This is really old, so it doesn't have a lot of stick. You want to be careful when you're doing this, not to have too sticky of washi tape. And I'm going to take the largest slimline die from the Trinity Stamps slimline set that's stitched, and I'm going to tape that to these papers because I decided that I would like a slight border around to really make those layers pop out. So I've got my card base here, and I went ahead and I cut out of some white paper another of those slimline stitched dies, and that's going to help me line up all my layers onto my background. I'm just going to glue that onto my card base, leaving that little border all the way around, trying to get that nice and even. And I'm going to go ahead, starting from the top of the card and lining that up on that stitched layer. See how that lines up perfectly? So that's just a little trick that you can use to line up your landscape layers. And what you want to do is use some liquid glue to glue those down so that you have a little wiggle room before it's all set to make sure it's nice and aligned. So next, I'm showing you here that I've cut out of that wood grain paper a fence using my Cricut. And I was also mindful of the direction of that wood grain, with the horizontal pieces going the one way and the vertical post pieces going the other way. And I'm just going to trim these down so that they fit nicely behind one another. And if you didn't know already, this is a giveaway hop, and the giveaway is open internationally. It's open for 1 week, and I will leave all that information on how to enter the giveaway in the description box below. And I want to encourage you to hop along and comment and like as many of these videos as you can. There are some great designers hopping along with me today, so go check them out. I'm just adding the vertical post here, and I'm adding a couple layers of those to give it a little bit of dimension. And before I get that glued down, I'm going to audition my scene, as my friend Sin from Stamping Munchkins would say. I'm going to put these images and figure out where I want them in my scene. So in the foreground, we have that lovely fence, and I'm going to set some pumpkins up in front of that. I have my blackbird who's going to sit on the fence and some corn bunches in the front of the scene. Also, my scarecrow is going to sit on that sunflower paper as if he's in a sunflower field, and my little boy and girl on the pumpkins are going to be back there in the pumpkin patch. I used every one of these images, if you can believe it, except for one, which was the larger acorn. So I'm going to show you on this stamp of the little girl and boy on the pumpkins that the pumpkins actually had leaves and trendles on them, but I ended up fussing cutting these out right to the line, and those got snipped off. So I decided to take some green ink and stamp that directly onto my background. And I think this would have worked better had I not had multiple layers of paper, because it just couldn't get down enough at that joint. But I fixed it by going ahead and using my green marker here. Just any marker will work. And I think that turned out completely fine. And I'm going to glue some of these images down with the liquid glue and get this scene coming together. So for my foreground elements, such as the fence and the pumpkins, I'm going to use some very thin foam squares. I'm going to cut those down right on the sheet with my scissors so that they will fit. And the reason why I chose a fall themed card, well, since fall is right around the corner, also our Thanksgiving in Canada is the second weekend in October. So this is going to be nice to send out to a family member or a friend. And I'm just getting these pumpkins arranged. I adhered them all together first, and then I added foam tape. Did I mention that this is a giveaway hop? That's right, you could win $25 to the Not Too Shabby shop. And I encourage you to go over there and check out Jamie's products. She's got some really cute exclusive stamp sets, and she just had a recent release that is full of coffee theme cards and a cute little Halloween set. So that's a lot of fun. And here I am taking these big leaves and I am popping those up on some foam tape as well, because I believe since they're bigger, they are probably in the foreground. So it looks like all these leaves are falling all around this cute little scene. And I also added foam tape to all the little leaves as well, and those will be sprinkled all over the background here. As you can see in the top left corner, I have stamped the sentiment Happy Fall in a blue ink, and I actually took a cue from Jamie on this one and added some white gel pen to try to pop those that sentiment out a bit. But in the end, I believe that the sentiment was just too small to add that effect, so I fixed that later on. I will definitely use that technique with a bigger sentiment, but for this sentiment, it just looked weird. So here I'm taking my white gel pen and I'm adding that a whole bunch of gel pen accents to random places all over my card. You don't have to be too scientific to add these white accents, just have fun with it. And I really thought this helped pop out the images from that busy background. So how I fixed the sentiment was I white heat embossed the Happy Fall sentiment on the matching wood grain paper that I used for the fence, and I'm going to cut that down into a flag banner here and just cover up that sentiment that I wasn't too fond of. And that's pretty much my card for today after I get this sentiment adhered. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a little bit about scene building, and I hope you try out this scene building technique with the pattern paper. Hope you guys have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.